Hello, and welcome to another Crack-a-Pack. Today, I am back with another 3 play boosters from Murders at Karlov Manor for us to open up and make our first 3 draft picks. Let's get started. Macabre Reconstruction. Riftburst Hellion. Makeshift Binding. Unauthorized Exit. Galvanize. Pick your poison. Gleaming Gear Drake. Essence of Antiquity. Buried in the Garden. Vengeful Tracker. Our rare is Assassin's Trophy. Black, green. For an instant. Destroy target permanent an opponent controls. Its controller may search their library for a basic land card. Put it onto the battlefield, then shuffle. A foil Crime Stopper Sprite. And a laid to rest from the list. A foil Full Art Island. And an art card. Alright, so here is our pack, and I feel like we have a lot of really good options here. Just at first glance, there are 5 cards that I would be interested in taking, nearly all of which are removal, and I feel like it sort of depends on what you might envision yourself building. because I think any of these are pretty defensible first picks. I think for me today, I would like to give Gleaming Geardrake a shot and see if we can build up an investigate deck to try and get as much card advantage as possible and hopefully build this up into a really large threat. Because I'm honestly fairly nervous having to pass so much removal. I think our best defense against that is to just draw more cards than our opponent so that we can rebuild or respond as much as possible. So I will go ahead and take Gleaming Geardrake, but I am curious to hear your opinion and whether you would take one of these other cards or something else in the pack entirely. But for now, let's move on to our pack 1 pick 2. Basilica Stalker. Shady Informant. Novice Inspector. Out Cold. Felonious Rage. Bite down on crime. Projector Inspector. Lead Pipe. Branch of Vitu-Ghazi. Case of the Filched Falcon. Karlov Watchdog. Our rare is Kellen, Inquisitive Prodigy. 2 green blue for a 3/4. Legendary creature. Human fairy detective. Flying vigilance. Whenever Kellen, Inquisitive Prodigy, attacks, destroy up to 1 target artifact. If you controlled that permanent, draw a card. And tail the suspect. Green, blue for a sorcery adventure. Investigate. You may play an additional land this turn. A foil showcase. Soul Enervation. a full art forest, and a token. Alright, so before we make our pick 2 to go with the Gleaming Gear Drake, let's first make our pack 1 pick 1. And I'm feeling pretty confident that the drafter opening this pack would probably just take Kellen. So we will go ahead and remove that from the pack. And then to go with our Gleaming Gear Drake, I mentioned that we would want to be on the lookout for anything with Investigate. And I see 2 really good options here. We have Novice Inspector and Out Cold. Novice Inspector is one of the top cards in the entire set, but would be an off-color pick for us at this point. But that really doesn't alarm me very much, because I think white goes really well with both blue and red, so I wouldn't have any issue with taking that as a follow-up with our Gear Drake. Out Cold is also a very good card and does not require us to deviate from our first pick colors. So I'm a little torn, but I think Novice Inspector is the better card overall, so I will go ahead and take Novice Inspector, but definitely let me know what you would take down in the comments. And we are on to our final pack. Rakish Scoundrel. Unscrupulous Agent. Market Watch Phantom. Person of Interest. Fanatical Strength. Magnifying Glass. Vitu-Ghazi Inspector. Scene of the Crime. Agency Outfitter. Push and Pull. Forum Familiar. Our rare is Krenko's Buzz Crusher. 2 red, red for a 4/4. Artifact creature. Insectopter. Flying. Trample. When Krenko's Buzz Crusher enters the battlefield, for each player, destroy up to 1 non-basic land that player controls. For each land destroyed this way, its controller may search their library for a basic land card, put it onto the battlefield tapped, then shuffle. A foil alley assailant. A full art mountain. And a token. All right. So here is our pack. And just like before, we need to make our pack 1 pick 1 before we make the pick 2 and 3. And compared to the other 2 packs, this one seems a bit more underwhelming. I imagine the drafter opening this pack would probably just go for Krenko's Buzz Crusher. Even if it's unlikely that this ability gets used, I think a 4-mana 4/4 flying trample creature is pretty tough to argue with. So I would go ahead and put that for the pack 1 pick 1. As our follow-up for Kellen, I don't really think we would consider the Agency Outfitter, but Fanatical Strength and Vitukazi Inspector would certainly be worth taking a look at. I do like both, but I think I would side with Vitukazi Inspector. It's going to be important to make sure we pick up enough creatures, so that's what pushes it over the edge for me. But I am open to hearing other opinions about that. And then finally, for our pick 3, to go with our Gleaming Geardrake and Novice Inspector. If we're just looking at those 3 colors, we've got the Agency Outfitter, we have Person of Interest, and Market Watch Phantom. I guess we also have Form Familiar and Push and Pull. I think I'm probably highest on Person of Interest out of any of those, but I would actually be interested in maybe picking up Scene of the Crime. It is a land that is also a clue, and it might be able to help with some mana fixing. I could see using something like Novice Inspector for producing colored mana. So, I don't know. It might need some stuff to line up pretty well to be ideal for this deck, but it is something that I would be interested in trying out. So, I might actually take Scene of the Crime here. And that's our last pick. There we have it. Thank you so much for joining me today while I opened 3 play boosters and made a few draft picks. I hope you enjoyed it. And like I mentioned throughout, I want to hear your opinion on any of these picks or different picks you would have made if you were drafting. Let's make sure we talk down in the comments. And of course, please make sure you like and subscribe if you haven't already. I put out new Magic the Gathering ASMR videos every Monday and Friday. But that will do it for today. As always, thank you so much for watching. I hope you have a wonderful day.